Well, she's a broadcaster, a feminist, a social activist, a member of the Order of Canada, and so much more. And right now she is dancing to her husband's music. You know her name. Please welcome Denise Donlon to What She Said.
Oh, it's a thrill to be here. Thanks.
And we are very happy to have you here. Now, your career has been phenomenal over the years. You've done so many things, but you just wrote a memoir, which a lot of people, including us, are really excited about. It's called Fearless as Possible Under the Circumstances. It's a wonderful title. Our musicologist, Eric Alper, told us it's one of the greatest books he ever read. So,
wow, that's high praise indeed.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Now, so why did you want to write this? A lot of work.
I'm just a girl that can't say no. I was asked, I guess. And I thought, yeah, maybe this is a good time. I turned 60 this year. And
congratulations.
Thank you. Still on the right side of the green. And I thought, man, maybe I'll get all these celebrity stories down before they fall out of my ears. But the more I started to actually write, the more I realized that it wasn't just about name dropping and bruising everyone's toes. It was really more thematic. It was, leadership and humanitarianism and philanthropy and feminism. And so these themes started to emerge through the book. And, the career path there's been a lot of, jigs and jags along the road. But I just wanted to share, I think, and what it became evident was the stories that I really cared about sharing were the ones where I was learning something or I could share something or that were really funny and made me laugh. And at the end of the day, I thought it was going to be for my son in case he ever wanted to find out what happened on that White Snake Slide-It In tour, 1984.
We definitely want to know.
Oh, yeah, tell us about that one.
But ultimately, I thought it's probably more for young women who, who maybe want a career in the Canadian cultural industries.
Well, the book covers some of the biggest moments in your career. Let's go back to the beginning. How did you get started?
I got started because I was going to the University of Waterloo, and I was in environmental studies, tree-hugging, hirsute, activist, wild-eyed idealist. But I was also a musician, I thought, right? So I did a couple of really bad gigs at the grad club, like butchering Joni Mitchell and John Prine songs, and realized that I wasn't going to be, in front of the microphone. And when the students wanted someone to book the concerts at University of Waterloo, I applied and got the job and started promoting concerts. And that's really how the whole thing started. Love working with musicians and just went from there, just learned it all on the spot.
And then came Rock Flash News.
And then came Rock Flash. So I went to Vancouver and I was working with Feldman and Associates, and Sam manages, James Taylor and Diana Krall, et cetera. But at the time, it was Doug and the Slugs and Headpins and Trooper. And so when Much Music launched, they were sending a camera across the road. I'd like to say cameras, but it was only ever one person.
Videographer, officially
videographer,
now, right?
Exactly. Not even a camera person and a host. And I was trying to get my acts on their air. And Jeannie Becker was leaving Rock Flash to go and host fashion television. And they brought me across the country, and I went on air with my, my lisp and my bad hair and did my best to learn what it was like to be on air personality.
Okay, so you describe, and I know because we started there in the same year, it as bedlam.
It was bedlam
at City. So how long did it take you to acclimatize to it?
Well, you have to, they throw you in the deep end, really. Somebody, Jonathan Gross at the Star, said on-air training is like careening out of a Pulse vehicle and getting thrown in a shoulder road on the side of the street. And it was like that. I mean, the place was... I remember about 20 years later, David Bowie, I was talking to him backstage at the MMVAs, and we had a great meeting. And as I was leaving, I overheard him say to one of his people saying, this place is chaos. It seems to be run by children.
Well, it was.
And it was like that. And we were all just making it up as we went along.
And then you ended up at Sony. What made you decide to do that?
Well, so I'd been at Much and Chum for about 16 years at that point, and I went from Rock Flash to producing and co-hosting the new music, and then vice president general manager of Much, and we launched Much More Music. And we were about to launch another bunch of great new digital channels, and Sony Music literally headhunted me. And I thought, wow, when the artists come to Much Music, they were already kind of fully formed. They had videos, they had records out. And I thought, wouldn't it be exciting to actually have A, a budget, and B, be able to find and nurture and celebrate new artists, find them from the ground up and be a part of their career that way. So it was fantastic. I said yes, and off I went. And the next thing you know, the bottom fell out of the record industry. So.
Yeah. But you moved to CBC, radio executive director, right? And in 2008. Eventually, you were let go from
I was
there.
Restructured at CBC Radio. Yeah.
Were you angry?
I carried my hurt around like Jacob Marley's chains for far too long. Yeah, I was angry. Because I felt I was doing a great job, and I felt that I was championing small stations and investigative journalism and the things that the public broadcaster should be doing, and they do it well in many cases. But I was restructured and very unhappy about it. But I still champion the public broadcaster, even so.
And you say in the book you learn to focus on gratitude instead. I mean, we hear more and more. A lot of the guests we have on talk about how important it is to be grateful. How did you learn to do that?
Well, I realized that my hurt wasn't serving me, right? And I could hear myself in conversations with friends about how angry I was. And it's just not the right way to live. You got to get past it. You have to realize, okay, what did I learn from that experience? I mean, even writing the book, I had 3 things that I would write. First of all, the ass will not kick itself when I was feeling unmotivated. And then I switched it to kindness, kindness, kindness when I was feeling vengeful.
Right.
And then at the end, the phrase was faster, funnier, Donlon, when I thought, oh my God, I can't write 1,200 pages. Somehow we have to shorten this up and get it out there. So yeah, you have to learn to be grateful because, even the valleys will teach you things. And at the end of the day, the thing that made me most happy in any of those careers, and they were positions of pretty big authority and power, were, how do you use your powers for good? How do you somehow find a way to do your job as a businesswoman, meet the bottom line, be an efficient manager and an inspiring leader, and at the same time leave the world, hopefully, or your small space in it, a more positive place?
Now, you do touch on some of the unfortunate lows of being a woman in the industry, which we have all experienced. What was perhaps one of the most frustrating things you had to deal with?
I think the lack of mentorship in the record industry from women. There were lots of great mentored men, Rick Daubus, who was head of Sony International, or John Martin at Much Music. But at Sony, I was the only female president of a country. And I would be going to the international meetings. And as I said, it was a time when the industry was under fire. Illegal downloading and was just pulled the rug out from the industry. So I was A, trying to learn the business, and B, every 6 weeks I'd be at an international meeting surrounded by all of the heads of other companies who were all men. And people would say, did you lean in, Denise? Were you leaning in? I was leaning in so far my feet were off the ground. But there were no women mentors. There were other high-powered women in the business, but it was very competitive. And asking them to mentor you have been like asking them to help you tie your shoes. It just wasn't done. So you had to work harder. You had to study more. You had to do, what they say about Ginger Rogers. You had to dance. You have to do everything Fred Astaire did. You just have to do it backwards
and in high heels.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Is there anything you would change?
I think I would encourage women to be more helpful, more embracing of other women. More collaborative. It's a perfect word. Thank you. I think that it only enhances you. And, it makes your team better. It makes your business environment better when you encourage women, because guess what? You give women a leg up and they will change the world. They'll make it better. And that goes for CEOs and board positions and politics and all of it.
The book is Fearless as Possible Under the Circumstances, and it's available
everywhere.
Everywhere,
yeah,
absolutely everywhere.
And
it's a fabulous read. I haven't quite finished it yet, but I have started. One interview that stands out for you over the rest?
So many. I mean, one of the fun things, I'm told the book is, Alan Doyle calls it wickedly funny, which I thought was brilliant, because I tried to make it entertaining. was going into labor in the middle of a Cowboy Junkies Intimate Interactive. Literally, my water broke as I walked in the front door, 15 minutes live to air. And there was nobody else to do it, so the contractions started during the show. With
there
the
you go.
softest band in the world, right? It couldn't have been Metallica.
Only you.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
So my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
This is What She Said on the Jewel. Stay with us.